Good morning, Jessica. Nice to finally
Hello.
connect with you. It's been a while. We've been planning to do this, but things have just, things have happened.
Totally. It's lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I'd like to thank Melissa Kusarek for setting this all up. She was the one that sent me your information initially, sometime last year, and then I
Yep.
heard your first song that I ever heard of yours was For a Night, which I was just like, wow, that really resonated with me. I liked the whole vibe of it. You just seemed like so energetic, and I'm like, so she wanted to know if I wanted to contact you and do this. It's been a while since we've been trying to set it up, but
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you liked it. And yes, thank you to Melissa. She's the best.
yeah. So you got a jazz study degree, Minnesota State University.
Yes. Yeah. So I started out there actually just doing like classical voice because I had no idea what I wanted to do outside of the fact that I wanted to sing and
Right.
practice and get better. And so, yeah, I started with classical, and then very quickly, all of my professors there were like, pretty sure you want to do music industry and kind of get a little bit more of the like commercial music side of things. So I switched to music industry and then eventually found my way to jazz studies, which was just a really nice mix of um, industry stuff where I learned about contract writing and um, like audio production and all of that jazz, and then also half jazz performance and really dove into that style of music, which was really fun.
Wow, so you're well rounded. You know what to look for when it comes to looking out for your best interest and the interest of the your fellow bandmates and stuff in terms of signing a contract.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely am not uh in those contract books as much as I should be. It's such it's like its own language. Like I always say music is its own language, but then there's
Right.
also like the legal side of music is its own language. So keeping up on those, and I definitely have a general sense of like how to make sure that you protect yourself and your people, and just like some of the things to look out for. I'm always learning though. So I'm sure I could still get bamboozled, but I'm on guard. So,
Well, I mean, iconically, it happened to the Beatles, right? Apple
yep.
Records ended up owning every single song they ever wrote.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah. Yeah. It can happen clearly to the best of them. So,
Yeah, yeah, and it's continued. That happened to
yes.
oh geez, her name escapes me now, but
Maybe are you thinking Taylor Swift? Because she just
yes,
redid some stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because her her whole entire catalog was taken from her and sold.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's evil, but everybody's trying to look out for themselves. So you just got to make sure that you protect yourself
yeah.
and you'll be okay.
Well, we can only hope, right?
We can hope. Yeah. That's the goal. So we
that
make it
others
out
have
okay.
that others have other people's best interests in mind when they sign that line, right? It's not like,
Hmm.
what can you do for me?
Yeah.
So your first song from your new album, which I absolutely love. I love every single. I love the diversity through each track. Like it's got its own it's got its own rhythm for every single, no pun intended, but it's got its own
Totally.
genuine style for each song. Like you don't feel like you're hearing a repeat of the last song you just heard. But
Yeah.
I got a
Thank you.
question. The first song, NGFL. What's
Yes.
it for? Is it too
It
long?
stands for,
Too long to
yeah,
wait it out?
it was, no, it stands for Nice Guys Finish Last.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that it stands for something else, which is also fine. I kind of like some like ambiguity in music, and I find that no matter what I write a song about, people are going to listen to it and make it about themselves, which is good. That's the purpose of music, right? I want my
Yeah.
music to relate and connect to people. So, whatever you want to think of it as, but for me, and what I wrote it as is Nice Guys Finish Last. And that whole
And
song is just kind of about.
what are some of the spin-offs that other people, or can we discuss that here?
I think a lot of people thought it was like a version of Not Gonna Lie.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not hip to the like lingo of like didn't even know that NGL stands for Not Gonna Lie. So on me, I should do my research. But also like again, if people want it to
I can
be,
second that.
yeah, if people want it to be that, cool. It also is kind of, yeah, it's a sassy song. So like whatever you want to put behind it, that's what it means. But it stands for Nice Guys Finish Last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your song Push Through, like I like the intro of it. Like you're welcoming people to your show. You're like, thanks for
Yeah.
showing up. Oh no, it's okay. I got you. I was just listening to that before we started this, and
Oh, cool.
and then you got the applause of the audience. So push through. What's that in regards to? Is that in regards to anything in particular, or just push through a relationship or an encounter you have with somebody, or that sort of thing? Or
I wrote that song after I had some friends that were really struggling with just kind of feeling purpose and feeling really down. And just I wrote that as kind of an encouragement to anyone that's like, yeah, struggling to find a reason to wake up in the morning, like through, it's gonna get better. And like as soon as I'm able to help you, let me know and I'll be there. And so like that song kind of takes like the scene is kind of right when my friend in the song is starting to come out again and is still not really feeling it, but they're like, I just got to get out. So kind of that, like as soon as they can accept help, showing up and being there for each other. And yeah, I don't know, especially after this year, I feel like it's just we've got to help each other push through, and it's going to be better.
yeah,
It always gets better, but you just got to push through a little bit. So that's what that song is about.
well, and it comes through like that. It has a hopeful message to it. Like we can push through it, and you can get through this shit you've been through. Like you say
Yeah.
right in the lyrics, but if it ever gets
Yeah.
radio play, that's one they're gonna have to beep out. But
We have a clean version. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the
And you
first
just
song that I
omit
ever
that. You
cursed
just
in.
omit that line
But
at all, or do you have you replace it with another word? The stuff.
no, yeah, when I sing it live, if there's like a bunch of kids there, then I'll replace it with stuff. But for the radio version, it just is like silent for that 1 second. So
But they've played a lot worse stuff on the radio than what you
true.
that one word you say in that song. Like
Yeah.
maybe twice, I think. Twice or three times you
Yes.
say it.
I
Yeah.
think it's twice. And there was just no other way to say it other than like, ugh, it's the shit you're going through. Like it had to
Yeah.
be that. So,
No,
I'm
I
not one
totally
for like being really explicit in music because I again want music to be really accessible to a lot of people, but sometimes you gotta call it like it is. You're just going through some shit.
well, and especially if it's in relation to what you just shared with me in
Yeah,
the fact that it's relative to what your friend was going through. So
yeah, yeah,
been through some shit. So yeah,
yeah.
it's not been an easy year for anybody.
No.
The song Potential. I love the groove, the the vocals. I don't know, your vocals are just like off off the charts. Like I'll be fine.
Thank you.
You just like bring it down. You just bring it down. It's a great way to end the album. I'll be fine. I love
Yeah,
that song ever since I first heard it. The
thank
videos.
you.
Where did you shoot the video? Was that like in a church?
It is in a venue in town called the Sanctuary in Fargo, North Dakota. That's where I reside in currently. And Off Color Media partnered with me and we did this video. They did a stellar job. We rented out the venue, which was pretty easy at the time because there were no shows, but it
Right.
used to be a church. So it turned into a venue, which was super cool. It was just kind of like the perfect backdrop. And yeah, so we got there super early in the morning, and as the sun was rising, filmed it. It was so fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm sure I mean, not that because it was just a video, so the music plays over it, but I'm sure the acoustics are wonderful in there.
Yes, we had toyed with the idea of maybe doing a live recording, but we're like, you know what? Let's make everything the best that it can be. And
Yeah,
if we do a live recording while we're trying to also act out playing and look good and get, it's not going to be the best. So
right.
we decided to, yeah, we definitely pre-recorded it and edited it, but it was really fun to climb along and in such a beautiful space. It was cool. It was cool to hear that song playing loudly in the room.
I bet. Yeah,
So
it gets dizzy in one part where the camera just kind of goes behind the keyboardist and then the players, and then comes swings around and goes right around you. I'm like, whoa, dude.
yeah,
It's a bit
it was
dizzying.
insane. Yeah, they
Right?
had like there was a guy who was on a hoverboard and he was
Oh,
holding it was crazy. He was holding the camera on like I think it's called a gimbal. I don't know. I don't know these camera things. I just show up. But I
right.
think yeah, he's like holding it on something and stabilizing it and he's like also squatting down on a hoverboard and I was like, "Man, props to you cuz that looks very difficult." Like I couldn't even ride a hoverboard, let alone hold a camera and get cool angles and so
He didn't
yeah,
run into
it
anybody,
was
did he?
wild. There was one moment where he accidentally bumped the corner of the piano and
Oh no.
it was so quick. And then he got right back on and kept going. Like it was totally cool. He didn't get hurt. I was surprised. So
Well, that's good. Nobody was injured
yeah, I
during.
had to stop watching what they were doing. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Oh, you can just put at the end. Nobody was harmed during the shooting of this video.
We showed up. Yeah, I clipped him on the hoverboard.
So we've already spoken about this in the email, but I tried to order your CD because I like the physical media.
Yes.
I'm a physical media guy, as you can
Hmm.
see behind me here, my movie collection.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
but you're currently just shipping to the U.S. right now, mostly
Yeah,
through your
for
website.
the most part. Yeah, yeah. I have had a few people that have reached out outside of the US that I've sent to and just like sent them invoices or whatever. So it's not out of the question, but well, for now it's just US shipping on my website. And then, send me an email if you want something.
Cool. Um, yeah, if I had to pick favorite songs, it'd probably be Potential and Like a Fool. Where did Like a Fool come from?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
that is such an awesome start, and all the way just plays all the way through, so
yeah.
so sharp.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually started writing that because I was on Instagram or something and one of my old voice teachers had just like a random story clip of her playing a chord progression and I was like, "Ooh, that's neat." And if you like theoretically analyze my music, you'll see I do a lot of the same stuff. I've got like my go-to uh things that I do and tricks and whatnot. So kind of going in between those two chords in the beginning was how it all started. And just felt very groovy to me. And I wanted to write a song that kind of really grew because I'm always writing um, with the intention of like each section brings something new and brings something different and makes you feel like either the story or just like the vibe or the melody or whatever, something is growing and changing and it's adding and it's never stagnant. Like you're always kind of reaching that next level when we get to the next part. So when I wrote this song, it was really important to me to make that ending like huge and just try to like throw as much as we can in there. I did this whole project with, he's actually my bassist. His name's Evan Geiger. He played bass and did all the mixing on this. And so it was a lot of us being like, all right, what else can we add? What else fits? Like, what things can we just make this feel like you're almost being overwhelmed with like the power of of each new instrument that's being added and new things. So yeah, I mean the whole song is just about like that those relationships you have in life where like you keep getting burned, but yet like you keep going back and like you can't stop because you care. And hopefully that's not like a forever thing, right? Like you eventually learn and you evolve and you grow, but that's what that song is about, just having those things in your life. And that can even be like, man, every time I eat ice cream my stomach hurts, but I love it so much so I keep going back, like that's the thing. And then every time your stomach hurts and you're like, gosh, I'm a fool, so that's what it's all about, just those things that we know we shouldn't do but we do, and we're like, eh, oh well. You're
Oh,
overcome.
I've never done that.
Right, totally unrelatable. I
No, I think you're
only
on.
do what's good for me.
I don't think
Oh,
anybody's going to
okay.
relate to that at all.
I hope not, but
We'll see.
we'll see.
We'll
Yeah,
see in the
yeah.
comments. Maybe people can mention what they maybe they can mention how they feel like a fool.
Yes, yes. Please let me know so I know I'm not alone.
I don't think you are, honestly. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, you can I get your thoughts on people saying there's no good music around anymore? Because I get sent a lot of music, and I'm just always not amazed. I'm glad because there's still good music. Well, for instance, I only came across your music because of Melissa. She sent it,
Hmm.
you know. So I'm grateful for that because now here we are talking. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I think it's the underground scene. People just I think they need to turn off their radios and turn on an independent channel and kind of see what's going on because that's where everybody started, right?
totally. Yeah. I mean, I hate the phrase there's no good music anymore. Like,
I know.
what is your like who gave you the right to decide what's good and what's not good, first of all? Like I I have a friend that I get into this argument with a lot where like we debate whether or not something has value based on the fact that it's widely liked. And for me, I think things like pop music, like the super like top 40 hits, I think simply because of the fact that they're there is a value to them. There is something about them that is widely liked, and that itself is valuable. Whether or not you want to call it good, that's up to you to decide, like, but um there's still value in it. And I think if you're not finding music that you like by artists now, then exactly like you said, you're not looking in the right places. There are so many people that are doing really cool things and doing really innovative things that still hold true to kind of what you might call like our classic styles or genres or whatever. But you just got to look for them. You got to find them. They're not going to be on the radio. And they can still be successful too. Like you can still have an artist that is doing really well and isn't played on every single radio station. So you just got to kind of be a little bit pickier. People are so drawn to what they know and what's familiar. And so, at least from my experience, this might not always be true, but from my experience, the people that say that are typically a little bit older. And so, got pop music that was what it seemed like sick and kind of like the baseline. But it all changes, it evolves. Society continues growing. And so, you know,
Well,
you just got to find it.
I'm considerably older than you are. I'm gonna be 50.
No way.
I'm gonna be 55.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Well, you look great.
well, thank you. I
Yeah.
yeah. So I take offense to that being older and not appreciating new music.
But you don't, right?
I'm cute. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
No, but I do agree, and I tell people that they need to get their hearing checked if they're not hearing good music.
Yeah, it's out there.
It's out there.
You know, if you say that there isn't any good music anymore, when was the last time you went to a local show and checked out some of the original artists in your community?
Yeah.
Like, at least, again, in my experience, I've found that those people that complain about not having good music anymore are the ones that aren't going out and seeing music or, being a part of the music community that they have in their neighborhood. So, it takes a little bit of effort, but also like, well, then don't complain about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's such a different vibe you get from hearing the music live because it's there. It's in your face, you know, and it's not something you can just put on the CD player. It's
Totally.
it's that intimate connection you have with the artist and the artist has with the people. Getting to that,
Hmm.
how excited are you to things are starting to open up at your in your area? Are you going to be
Yes.
doing shows again soon, or
Yes.
that's a reality?
Yeah, it's been actually quite crazy these days, which is exciting. But there's a ton of outdoor stuff. Like, I'm sure you experience this as well, where it's like as soon as it's not snowing outside, people are like, let's do outdoor events. So, um, yeah, it's been really, really fun to get out a little bit again. Like, even tonight, I'm playing for a private party and just
Oh,
doing some, me and my guitar player are going to go and just probably read some standards and do some tunes and just hang out. And it's really exciting. And there was a part of live music that I wasn't sure that I missed, um, until it came back, and I was like, yeah, no, I miss it all. I miss it all. So it's really good to be back and doing things again and getting those live performance chops back up, because even though I practiced all through quarantine, you lose so much when you're not performing live. So I'm
right.
excited to get it back.
Is there a little bit of anxiety or nervousness about getting it just maybe not just right because who gets it just right first couple shows back, right? But
Yeah.
is there that nervousness to have that people might have that expectation, or do you find that people are understanding because everybody's been locked down for so long and it's
Yeah.
going to take a while. It's like when hockey or baseball or any of the sports come back. It's like the first couple games, nobody's at their best, right? Because
Yeah.
they've been out for the season. So
Totally. I don't think, at least from my experience, I don't think that people expect that as much as like I expected that for myself, where like I really tried to use quarantine as a time to practice some of the things that I would normally say, oh, I don't have time for. So like really honing in on some of those annoying, meticulous things that aren't as fun. Um, and so, for me, I felt like, well, I spent all this time working on it, I should be able to just get right back into it and it should be easy. And so I put a pressure on myself.
okay.
But I think that a lot of times, honestly, like, people aren't dumb. Audiences aren't dumb, right? So when you are doing a show and if you do mess up, again, at least in my experience, I find that it can be a really fun connecting moment for you to be like, yeah, I just messed that up. Like, we all witnessed that together. All right, let's move on. Instead of, getting defensive or acting like it didn't happen, just being really honest and real. And that's what I strive to do. Where like, if I mess up the words, you'll probably see me smile, but like, some you don't need to announce to them. But yeah, just being honest and being real, I feel like audiences appreciate that so much more. And that's what I appreciate as a listener or an audience member, having an artist just be real.
Great. Because then there's more, and you can make that more of a connection with your audience because they're like, hey, she screwed up, but she's laughing about it and she moved on, you know,
Yep. Yeah. Kind of gives everyone permission to just like relax. Like,
let their hair
it's all
down.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
yeah. And just enjoy the time because, yeah.
We haven't been able to for so long.
Right.
Yeah. So, are you going to any shows? Or what is it like there? Because I think it's definitely different in Canada, right?
We're in BC. I'm in BC. So, yeah,
Okay.
things are slowly starting to open up again. There's some shows booked for the fall, but people are kind of scared at the same time because they're like, well, don't want to open too fast because then we might go back to lockdown again because that's what happened
Yep.
the first time is everything opened up too fast. Like the
Hmm.
movie theaters are open, but they're limiting an amount of people. Churches are open again; they're allowed to have their services, that sort of thing. But
Cool.
yeah,
Little by little.
yeah. But there's a lot of local talent that's getting out there because the borders are closed between us and yourselves
Hmm.
until the 21st of July. So
Okay.
so if any bands from the U.S. or anything want to come over, it's not going to be until after like August, September,
Sure.
and that's probably too late in the year to start booking for shows.
Yeah.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be like next year now.
Yeah. But it'll be very fun when we do get back.
Yes, it will be because
Yeah.
it'll be like like a lot of people are posting on Facebook and that you know remember to support the bands. Don't ask to be on the guest list. Pay for that ticket because everybody that's at the show, that's on the stage or the crew or whoever's hosting the event, they've been out of work for how long? You know,
Yeah.
support the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And the vent, yeah, just exactly. Support everyone.
Yeah, you said that yourself and your guitarist are there. I gotta say his guitar, I love it because right where he strums his guitar, he's got the RCA Victor logo in
Hmm.
the center.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Connor
noticed that
Lee.
right from the very first song when I saw your first song. I'm like, hey, he's got an RCA Victor. Like that's the old logo that RCA used to have like 100 years ago.
Yeah. He got that guitar, I believe, custom made by a guitar shop in town that goes by the name Gruber Guitars. So yeah, super cool. So you got to pick it out. He loves playing like wooden guitars. All of his guitars are wooden,
Really?
which I think is, yeah, I think it's so funny. It's cool. He's got a look, he's got a vibe. He's the best. I love working with him. So,
Yeah, it really has a different kind of sound to it.
mhm, yeah. And he actually co-wrote two of the songs on the album I just put out. So,
Oh,
yeah, so he's a great writer as well, and he has his own stuff. So, yeah, it's cool. A lot of great talent here.
well, and you even mix it up a bit because in the title song "Delicious," you have
Hmm.
a break in the middle where that young lady's rapping. That
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Was that something you wanted to incorporate, or did that just kind of that just is was that well? I'm obviously it was written in the lyrics, but did you were you initially trying to get somebody to sing that, or were you going to initially sing it yourself or perform it yourself? Or
Yeah. So that was actually one of the songs that Connor and I co-wrote
oh, okay.
together. And we were kind of having a tough time figuring out exactly how to navigate the tune because it's a weird form. Like it's not your typical verse, chorus,
Right.
bridge, double chorus. So we were like, don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And we were like, it'd be really cool and refreshing to have something that just like is totally different. Like all of my vocals in that song are pretty melodic, they're pretty, sung through. So having something that really changes it, even the guitar riff is pretty, you know, it's not staccato at all. It's really has a nice flow to it. So just having that rap to break things up, um, we thought would be really cool. And it just made sense. We have that friend D Mills. She now goes by Diane. But she has been a friend of ours for a while and she used to be in town. Now she's in Minneapolis doing her thing. So it just like made sense. Like she would be a great fit and she killed it. So she wrote the rap and she just like
Oh,
recorded it, sent it over, and then the next day came over and did the music video with us. So it was quick, but it worked out great.
who chose the laundromat scene? Like who chose that they're gonna you're gonna film it in the laundromat?
Yeah, that was the guy that we worked with who did that video. His name's Wyatt. He goes by Diggy Visuals. Um, I had kind of given this idea to him where I was like, okay, hear me out. So a lot of my friends right now um can't relate to like being excited to come home to like their partner or whatever as much as they can relate to like being excited to come home to their dog. So what if we do this video and like we make it seem like I'm coming home to like a partner, but I'm actually coming home to my dog. And he was like, I'm into it. And so he kind of just spun off all these ideas where he's like, okay, so like, what if we got you, you're like in a grocery store and you're getting supplies for your dinner date. And then like you're at the laundromat just doing random errands. So that way, you know, like you're living your day. So that way when you finally get to reveal that it's a dog, it feels like you've lived a full day.
It was
So that was his idea.
you open the door, I'm thinking, well, there's gonna be this young guy that's waiting to come in. There, there's your dog. It's like,
There was a
okay.
dog. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that was unique.
Yeah. It was fun. It was really
Then your
fun.
friends come over, and then you got rid of them, and you went to bed with your dog.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. It was cool. It was actually so one of the friends that were in the video, it was her house and her dog. She
Oh,
was super gracious to let us use the space. Yeah. So um yeah, and her dog did so well. Remy, oh, she was lovely. She listened well and it was great. I felt so bad. We tried so many times to get the scene of me opening the door and her coming in, and we just like couldn't get it to where she was actually looking where
right.
we were because you know, like her mom is on the side, and so it just was like
Oh,
it was tough, but we finally figured it out. And I just felt so bad because it was like negative 15 degrees that day. And
oh
we were like,
no.
yeah, we're like, sorry, Remy, one more time. You got to go outside. And so it worked out.
Probably
But
sitting out there going, "Why are we outside of our own home and all these strangers are inside?
literally, yeah. And like, what is going on? It's so cold. Why do I have to sit out here? You know?
I have to sit
So
on this cold porch."
yeah, but we got a good shot. It worked out. So
When you open the door, did she ever just bolt in? It's like damn cold out and just ran in.
that was the thing. It would be like she wasn't looking at the door. She like, cause yeah, Nikki, like her mom, owner, I don't know, was on the side and was like, all right, Remy, look at the door. And so Remy would be looking at her and we'd open the door and she would like be not looking and then she'd just like walk in and never look at me, which
Right.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
it just like looked really odd. So we had to figure out kind of how to do. We actually had originally had it where the camera was going to be like outside and you were going to just see the back of Remy and see me open the door. But yeah, that didn't work out. So she kept being like, who's behind me? Why is there a camera? You know, like what's happening? So
No, it's a cute video. I thought it was well done.
thank you. Thank you. It was really fun to do.
It
So
looks like it.
yeah. Yeah.
So, is there anything else you would like to add at all? Do you want to announce some shows that you have? You said you're doing a private event tonight,
I am, yeah.
but
I
is there
think the
anything
big
people in your neck of the woods can go see?
yeah, so um this Saturday I'm playing at the Aquarium in Fargo with May Simpson band. They're out of Minneapolis. And then kind of some big shows that I have coming up. I'm playing for Fargo people. I'm playing the new venue at Fargo Brewing called The Hall. Playing that July 30th with Gowns. They're a band based out of Minneapolis. And then playing Blue Stem for Sister City Smokeout. And I'm so excited because we're opening for Lake Street Dive and then Anderson East and Your Smith. And then for my Minneapolis friends, I'll be playing at 7th Street on August 11th. So some big shows coming up. I'm excited about.
And they can find all that on your website.
Yes.
Awesome. Any
Yeah.
any future plans to maybe come to Canada, or is that
I
something that might not be? It might not be feasible for a while, but is that something that you guys can afford to do? Is that
Totally. I have a friend from college that lives in Winnipeg now, and we had plans. We had a gig booked. We were going to come to Canada last April. So I was super excited to add the title international touring onto my resume. Just because I thought it's funny. But yeah, unfortunately that got canceled. So I would love to come to Canada. I have done a show too with Begonia. She came to Fargo and she's amazing. And so every Canadian band that I've ever like heard or worked with or was gonna do a show with has been amazing. So I would love to come up again and do some shows.
yeah, I mean, if you ever come to Vancouver, I'll be there. I'll be at your show.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm just outside of Vancouver, but you say you're in Fargo, North Dakota. Now you don't sound like you're from North Dakota yourself.
From Fargo.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Southern California.
Oh,
And then I
okay.
moved when I was 17, moved to Fargo.
Oh, okay.
So even though I'm not
Big,
originally
big
from
trans,
here,
big
yeah,
trans, because
it was huge.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Sorry, you said not. Sorry, I cut you off. You said that
no, that's okay.
not originally from there, but what?
But I still feel like Fargo's my home. It's where I did the most of my growing and all of my musical development. And yeah, so it's still, even though I'm not from here, it still is like I'll forever think of Fargo as the best place on earth. I love it here.
Well, that's great because you've obviously grown because you said you've been there since you were 17. I don't know how old you are.
Yep. I'm 27, so it's been 9 years now.
Yeah, you're still so young.
That's what I try to tell myself. And then I see videos of 17-year-olds like ripping it up on the keys or just singing crazy riffs. And I'm like, ay, 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 age doesn't matter anymore. I can't think about it.
Well, consider the fact that Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney both put out new albums. Paul McCartney recorded all the tracks himself. He did it all at his home studio.
Yeah.
There is no age. Like he's what? Like he's 80 now.
Yeah.
Like the man's a genius. I mean,
Yeah.
I was born in Lafayette, Indiana. We lived my first 6 or 7 years in Lansing, Michigan, and then we moved up to Canada in 1973 and been here ever since.
Cool. Cool. Do Canadians live up to the stereotype that they're all very nice?
No.
Okay.
For the
There we
most part,
go.
yes, I can say that unequivocally, but you can find nice, bad, angry people everywhere.
Totally. Yeah.
It's just a matter of who you run into. I mean, I don't know. There's good and bad people everywhere.
Exactly. You just got to find the good ones and hold on to them.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, because life's too short to deal with the negative ones.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
All right. Well, this has been more than a pleasure to finally get to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm happy we made it work and it was lovely. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. And it means a lot when people listen to my music, let alone even like it, So thank you.
Well, not a problem. I appreciate the work. Like when I first started doing my writing, like I've had my website for 10 years now. I used to do reviews of stuff I didn't like, but I found that it just took the same amount of time. Actually, it took longer because I was like trying to find a positive way to put a negative spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. But then I'm like, okay, so the artist has written the music. They've taken time to record it. They've taken time to put it out. This is something they've invested a lot of time in. So who am I to go,
Yeah.
to their creation? Because
Exactly.
I look back on those reviews and I'm just like, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's taking up too much of my time, and it doesn't help them.
Exactly. I mean, going back to the whole like good music thing, it just wasn't an album for you, but it was an album for other people. And the way I think about music is like, even if the music that I put out is just for me, it was worth it.
Well,
And that's all that matters.
that's what it comes down to is they say you have to write from the heart, right? And that's what a true
Hmm.
artist does is they write not because they want to, they want to be the next whoever, the next Taylor Swift,
Yep.
whatever. You know, they just have to write for themselves first and foremost, and then
Yeah.
you'll find your audience. That's what I
Totally.
that's what I've found with the musicians that I've spoken to. You will find your audience. They're out there. They just haven't
Yeah.
heard you. They just haven't heard you yet because you're not on the radio.
Yes. Exactly. But maybe they'll do some deep dive digging and they'll find my stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jessica. It's nice to finally get to meet you, even though it's
Yeah,
this way. Maybe one day, if you make it up to Canada, we can do an in-person interview if we're allowed
that
to.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Okay.
All the best. Good luck with your shows tonight and on Saturday and the future ones coming up, and
Thank you.
get your name out there a bit more.
Appreciate it. I'm sure I'll talk to you in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Take care. All the
Cool.
best.
You too. Bye.
Bye.